Salut les gars, j'espère que vous allez bien. Aujourd'hui, une vidéo assez spéciale parce que je vous montre le match qui m'a permis de gagner l'une des emotes les plus rares du jeu, l'emote Matcherino, l'emote que vous verrez juste ici à l'écran les gars. Ce Matcherino qu'on a joué, il avait une petite particularité, c'était que c'était le Matcherino le plus dur de l'histoire les gars. Il y avait toutes les équipes du LCQ. Je vous mettrai le bracket juste à l'écran maintenant. Donc voilà, comme vous pouvez le voir, on n'a pas eu un chemin facile. On avait battu genre vraiment beaucoup d'équipes. Et aujourd'hui, on va se regarder ensemble tranquillement la grande finale du Matcherino contre STMN EU. Donc les joueurs c'était Drage, Angelboy et Bobby. Moi je vous en dis pas plus les gars et je vous laisse avec le match. Bon visionnage.
That just doesn't seem like the greatest of ideas, but then again, to each their own strategies. Draft is kicking in. It's going to be Gemfort for our opening map, and I already see Max, Clancy, Nita bans for Stamina. Pretty good bans across the board. Eclipse are banning out Clancy, Kit, and Gale. So potentially here, you want to be a little bit careful of maybe a Colette early pick or a Colette Frank, and it's going to be a Frank first pick for Stamina, so Colette is coming up next, I would assume.
I would also assume Colette has got to be the next one coming up. This is Gym Fort, so there could be a bit more nuance here. I see some other brawlers that could maybe sneak through here on these bushy lanes. Like maybe you see something like a Surge appear, and we saw just how much of a beating Surge is able to deal to Frank earlier, so could be a wise pickup. Need to be also concerned about what could counter you those bushes. Now, here comes the Chester. He's going to be another, called like a bush ranger, as he's going to be populating these bushes, and a huge issue for anyone that he can sneak up on, given that he does basically a crap ton of damage now.
Chester is so good. Like, he's really, really good. Maybe a little bit inconsistent. I think we saw also, like, a lot of Chinese teams play it, and it just really didn't work all that consistently. So I think it depends on the situation. I think this is a map that lines up very nicely for Chester, and it is also a matchup against the Frank where he gets to really deal a lot of damage. It's going to be Meg for the next pick. I really like the Meg. I think that personally I would maybe have preferred the Colette instead of the Chester. I feel like it's just so good of a counter, especially now that it just leaves it open for Stamina to take it. And then I don't know if there's like an easy way to have enough damage to deal with that Frank later on.
My concern exactly is like, what are they fearing with a Colette selection out here? Why has it not been picked in the draft just yet? I think it could be a pretty solid mid. Even into Pam too. I mean, you assassinate the turret, you can deal so much damage to Pam, who relies on her high health to make all this happen. Now with the Rico, it's going to be tremendously troublesome in that lane. You get good value onto the Meg too. You're going to outrange her. You can check the bushes so well. She's definitely not going to sneak up on you unless she's a super mechanical player.
I love the Rico on this map. It's definitely one of the brawlers I think about on Gemfort as well. Again, a bit curious that they're just leaving the Colette open. I feel like it would be a great final pick, but they're going to go Cord instead. So not a bad shout. Not an easy matchup either, though. So I like the ideas, I think, from Stamina a little bit more here with this draft. It just seems a little bit more consistent. And I don't really see like a super hard like shutdown of the Frank either on that Eclipse side, because any of those brawlers, if they get in range, will get murdered by that Frank.
Okay, a lot of considerations here. Some swaps in the brawlers and in some of those gadgets there. We see Mebius picking up that Cordelius with the jump equipped. We're going to be getting into game number 1 here between Eclipsar and STMN EU.
All right, early on, it's a 2v1 in the mid, and then the right lane where the Frank is left open. But look at that, despite that, Bobby is going to find the first kill into Mebius. Man advantage grants them a little bit more control. However, the gem situation not quite as much in the favor. Already a healing station going to be placed down by Drage, and that's going to help him and the Rico stay nicely topped off and healthy.
Gugu's maintaining control, trying to take down Angel Boy. He's in a deadly position, but instead opts to put himself around this right side, and no one seems to be checking that. They know exactly where Angel Boy is going to go. He's going to come for the stun. Gugu tries to walk underneath to get the advantage. Instead, demeched and pummeled by that hammer. Mebius can't even get into the Shadow Realm in time to stay alive, and Angel Boy gets to pick up these 3 gems. ST-Men have established control around mid, but that turret positioning was not exactly optimal.
Yeah, well, right now things are looking so good for Stamina. They have so much map control, and they've completely spawn trapped Eclipsar. At last, they are going to start falling back with that countdown. A stun from Angel Boy with that hypercharge. Doesn't quite find a connection on Mebius, but it doesn't even matter. The kill still comes through easily. 4 seconds left. Way too much health here to deal with. And that's going to be Stamina picking up the opening game here against Eclipsar.
Nicely done here for Stamina. I think just technically well executed as well. A lot of this fight actually found itself around mid, where Stamina locked things down with that pan. They have the health, they have the control, they have Frank also on the right side most of the time, delivering an absolute beating to that Meg. We're going to be swapping perspectives now, watching Stamina instead, but the dynamic will remain the same likely. Bobby and Angel Boy doubling up on this left lane as Bobby tries to firing from a different angle to assist Drage on the mid matchup. It does not go their way, however.
It is a better start here. I think Mebius is very, very nice against that Pam. So that's something that he can try to like keep happening. Something that he kind of failed to get in place in that first game. And it's one of the things I kind of wanted to touch up on is that the Cordelius felt very unimpactful in game 1. This time around, he's already gotten like 2 kills looking for a third against Rage. And he's definitely managed to find way more impact than in game 1.
There's a stun on Angel Boy, which impedes his progress into mid, where he would actually have gotten quite a bit of damage there onto Ope. He's taken down now, but Drage is here to pick up the pieces. 1 piece, in fact, just a single gem. On the left side, Gugu found the sweet spot around that multi-ball launcher that Bobby popped off, but Bobby still gets the kill. Now, with Mebius and Angel Boy in the Shadow Realm, Mebius is hoping to sneak up behind Bobby. He has to have been alerted of the position, but he's not shooting at it at all. Doesn't seem too concerned. He's holding on to that gadget and the super at the same time, possibly waiting for a big moment to use the hypercharged super, but he held on to it for too long, and Mebius picks up the kill.
Right now, a bit of control loss. Awkward positioning, though. Mebius is able to get out of that mid. Eclipsar with a strong countdown, and suddenly Stamina need a kill on either the Chester or the Cordelius, but neither of them are gonna get in range unless actually it gets a bit messy. Ope survives, he lives on, and with that the game goes to Eclipsar. We are all tied up ready.
It was a very close tie there in the end. We almost saw the kill from Pam as well. That hypercharge from Bobby on the Rico was massive. You got serious damage, but the thing is, all of his opponents are on basically full health the entire duration of that hypercharge. We saw one stray bullet actually come back to bounce off of an enemy, which we got the chance to rewatch as well. It did not get them the kills, did not get them the countdown interruption. So what new approach are they going to take here in game 3?
Mebius is playing such a disgusting Cordelius this game as well. He really popped off in the previous game, and that was for me the win condition. Him being so effective, especially compared to that first game where he was so quiet, kept jumping into the mix and kept getting absolutely demolished, missing some supers as well. He will go down to Bobby here, but he's still causing a lot of damage, and with all the space he created, that's a nice and early gem lead in favor of Eclipsar.
They're having to back off of this point, though. Drage is picking up gem number 3 for the squad. Hypercharge and gadget down from Bobby just to finish off the kill. And now he owns this right line. Now Mebius is going in for massive damage. No kill on a Drage. Maybe he can get the jump on someone. The mushrooms are keeping him alive and healthy. Right next to Bobby is not where you want to be. He's even jumping upon emerging from the realm to make sure that he stays alive. With a hypercharge at his disposal, he picks up the kill onto Bobby around the right. This is not a good position for STMN.
Look at that, another super hypercharged, this one as well from Mebius. He's getting so much damage off the kill now. Onto the Pam, follow-up kill from Mebius. Only Angel Boy left alive, forced to burn through his gadget as well. And that gem count is getting dangerously close to countdown for Eclipsar.
Another Shadow Realm out here from Mebius, putting Drage in there. He knows that this is the life source of the team, so he has to get rid of Drage as quickly as possible. There it is, now close to Bobby, picks up yet another. Angel Boy is pinched in a 3-man, but he's in the Shadow Realm. This is actually an opportunity for him to stay alive and heal up, but he can't make any impact plays that would interrupt the countdown. It's a level 10 gem enemy all the way on the back end. Chester, he's so far away from any forms of damage. Angel Boy and Bobby are going to give it their all. In fact, pretty good laser there from Bobby in the end, but still a win for Eclipsar Esport, and they pick up set 1.
I mean, this was an absolutely like masterful set from Mebius. What a masterclass on that Cordelius. That was incredibly solid throughout the last two games here. For me, the impact player of the team, he was just constantly, first of all, getting that Pam completely out of the equation, occasionally getting kills on the Rico as well. I wasn't sure about that pick just because it's not a great matchup against a Frank. And I feel like Frank can be so incredibly threatening, which he was, by the way. 7 and 4 is a very good KD as a Frank. However, he was able to just completely make that Pam useless. Drake got nothing done this game.
Precisely, like Mebius over here. Look at his KD. We can praise Angel Boy for making a huge splash here and getting some good stats, getting good value for the team. But Mebius is still outshining him in the kill category, as well as in the utility category, as you pointed out, Teddy. Because, Spoo, I mean, walk us through how Cordelius can completely disable a brawler for the entire duration of the game.
I think, interestingly, we were talking a lot about the Colette pick earlier on, and about how like it would have fit the role of this Chester really nicely. But I think in a weird way, this Chester pick is really what enabled the draft's flexibility and let them lean into this last pick Cordelius, that X factor that they needed. Actually, when I saw Bobby pick up this Rico and I saw how game one went, I was gonna go to the toilet because I'm like, this is over. Like this is so dominant. Like there's nothing they can do. There's no solution to this Rico. But then I realized that Brawl is a lot more dynamic nowadays. And as you mentioned, Cordelius just shakes up everything because if you take one brawler out, you change the matchups on its head completely. And Mebius, he did that, I think, picture perfectly. Like, as Teddy keeps mentioning it, I completely feel that was one of the best Cordeliuses I've ever seen. So impactful, constantly cycling supers, cycling hypercharges, and it looked like STMN, they were communicating, they knew where he was, but Mebius always slips away somehow. Like, I saw a point where Angel Boy was pre-casting his gadget, trying to catch Mebius as soon as he came out, and Mebius like, nope, and he's gone. And I mean, we keep talking about Mebius, but really, this game could not have been. And game 2 and 3 really was single-handedly carried by his performance here, and every super had to matter for it to work.
Hopefully they haven't revealed too much in their bag of tricks here, because that Cordelius was so fearsome that maybe he gets target banned over here. Yeah, okay, so some interesting reactions over here on the casting desk, because what is double locking doing over here? Now, I don't know if any of y'all are like ladder aficionados. I will confess, I'm not. And yesterday on this tournament was the first time I ever saw double locking. So we'll see what meta emerges for this map.
It seems like an interesting one for sure. Don't really know what to compare it to. It's a bit of weird. It makes me think a little bit of Open Business, I think is the name of the hot zone map, except it's a completely different game mode. so that makes it very different anyways. We'll see how that is actually going to work out. We see a Meg, we see a Melody, absolute threats in this game mode. I also think that the Clancy can be so deadly and high, so much damage on safe. You got to be careful. But talking about damage on safe, I mean, who beats Crow in that department?
Crow is going to be massive, but you have to get that damage farmed up first. Now, Meg, in theory, should be feeding that to the Crow. Crow can occupy that lane for the entire game. I see a wide open mid. Now, it's not going to quite offer the value that you would get in Kaboom Canyon, for instance, where you scout out those bushes at mid, and you're also getting damage in the meantime. What is this? Okay, Spin, I'm seeing some of the discourse in chat, and yeah, Matt Maker. Well, you know what? At least there aren't teleport pads. At least there aren't jump pads.
Watch this map go into competitive next year. Just watch. Okay?
Oh no,
it's going to happen now.
Do you think double locking is going to be in comp?
Well, we'll have to find out. Well, and I get to cast double locking for the first time in my life. Not sure exactly how things are going to go here. And you know, the last time we saw a Heist map was previously on Heist. Ended very quickly. But this time I think this kind of map is a little bit different. It looks like a more typical tri-lane map. Ope is going to melt down Angel Boy. Very classic here. Bobby's going to take down Mebius here. Just trading it out here, but I think all eyes have to be on Drage, on this Clancy. He's really the end goal for STM. And Angel Boy going to be starting to zip over to the other side just to try to apply some pressure here. I'm not exactly sure how Eclipse are planning to make any progress.
Yeah, because the thing is, they're going to have to go through Drage first. Well, Ope's going to do that the hard way. In fact, it doesn't even give him any shots toward leveling up. Angel Boy, however, picks up the kill against Ope in close range. He gets to proceed directly past Go and go to that enemy high safe to lock in some damage. He's still alive because we haven't seen him pop up in the kill feed just yet, but we're not seeing any impact. With the first trickle of damage, he must be defended very, very well. Meanwhile, Mebius is going for this stun on the left side. He needs a couple more shots to take down Bobby. Might as well just use the super to make it happen. And now, finally, some substantial safe damage here from Eclipsar.
Interesting that maybe just holds on to this hypercharge there, and a nice gadget placement over there, just completely locking out the left lane here. Ope just flexing out that hypercharge super, not really dealing too much, but it is going to be the nuclear bomb Crow jumping in there. The burst damage is coming out. It looks substantial, but looking at the percentage ready, actually not too shabby from SDMN's side.
No, and also consider, however, though, that the tide can change so quickly. We've already seen a hypercharge come out from this Crow, and so I think that makes actually Stamina's progress all the more impressive so far. Now, we'll see if Angel Boy actually makes it on the enemy safe. That's what Ope, sort of the grumpy troll guarding the bridge, is here to do. He'll stun Angel Boy as soon as he gets in close range, but he's got to be careful of Drake trying to pierce the way through, and ends up stunning him, getting the kill. Now Angel Boy tries to punch through, defended by Gugu and, of course, by Buzz. Maybe a kill. Gugu stays alive. He has a super 2. I don't think he's going to have enough time to get yet another hypercharge, but he can still play D. They're at a 15% advantage.
This is the most brutal kind of D that I am looking at. And Ope is going to be zipping into the backline here. It's not going to connect, but it does apply enough pressure. Only 4 seconds on the clock here. And SDMN, they're not going to have enough to collect this one. The comp, I think, simply put, SDMN, they are looking at just a comp that just wants to sneak through Angel Boy and deal chip damage while they defend, but they don't really have the best of defenders. And meanwhile, on the other side of Eclipsa, they're just basically playing on supers here. They've got a Buzz super, Gale super, Crow super, all of them very high impact things that can instantly transition into some kind of safe damage or just some kind of advantage in general. So they're the type of comp that honestly I think could set up for even like a 1 push and then just defend the rest of the game. And Hope is gonna kick things up just by melting Drage. The weak link on the team is going to fall here, and Buzz is going to start kicking off this game in a completely different fashion from game number 1.
Curious to see how much damage he gets on that safe. He could commit for 10%, and that's all it seems. In the process, though, look, Drage gets a kill on Ope, and we know he was the only one there. Check out how much damage he's gotten so far. He's so close to level 3, and we're barely 30 seconds into the game. This could be a much different one, favoring STMN. Ope's still gonna go for this. Ope picks up the kill, and he's right on over to the enemy side. But in doing that, he's still going to be attacked by the Clancy once he respawns, possibly feeding in the level 3.
Yeah, SDMN this time for sure, they're cycling a lot better. And Drake, you can see he's already maxed out, melting out the Crow there. A nice jump there, but not really doing much there. Bobby gonna be melted there by Mebius. Hypercharge flies out from Ope, trying to do some damage here, but Angel Boy gonna be retreating onto the side of his Clancy here, just trying to, soak some pressure to allow Bobby to just join back the fold here. And now Drake is the damage dealer. And just look at Eclipse. Ope is like, I'm having none of this. I'm walking to the left. Let Drake do what the man wants to do.
Ope's gonna try and take down Bobby. No, Angel Boy, but he's only on his way to get rid of Bobby. And now over to the safe. Hypercharge down from Mebius. And Gugu, the nuke, onto the safe. So much damage, down to 21%. It's a 20% differential. What a clutch tornado as well that keeps Stamina safe for a moment longer and allows them now to go for the counter assault.
The counter assault it, it's full tempo swing onto the other side. Angel Boy, he's poised nicely, but look at Ope. He's got this hypercharge ready, just easing up, just trying to get that little bit of super. Maybe it's going to be flying out with a stun, not connecting, but Ope on the other side, he does indeed connect, and he's going to be slipping through right now. It's a base raise, and STMN, I don't know if they have time on their side. Maybe it's going to be taking out the main damage dealer, and on the other side, we've got a problem in the base. It's Ope knocking on your door. 1% left, 20 seconds on the clock. Can STMN turn this around ready?
A Gale super could get this one done. Mebius must be close to the way that he's firing at Drage. He's going to commit. Gugu has a super 2, but they can't let Drage on the point. He's going to do as much as he can to the safe, but only 2% leaves his gun. Angel Boy and Bobby now approach to get some more damage, but can they possibly do 33%? Nope, not into Mebius, Gugu, or Ope. That is the win. They've taken it all. That's set number 2 complete, and the entire tournament goes to Eclipsar Esports.
Absolutely crazy performance here from the mostly French squad. I mean, this has been really, really solid on their end. I feel like their drafts are very solid across the board. It's a full upper bracket run as well, right? The only team to not lose a single match throughout this tournament. That is going to put them in a pretty confident position coming into this weekend.
This is huge here for ECP. Wow, what a defense there towards the end. The crow damage that they managed to achieve. And I think also we've seen Clancy denied it so many different turns. Drage, I think, was actually quite desperate. He's like, I had the super. I had the level 3. I just got to get it onto the safe. But also we saw something a bit different here too, as we